History isn't just dates, it's revolutions, empires, and moments that changed the world. How many of those turning points can you remember under pressure? Let's find out.
Which decade saw the Yom Kippur War take place? (1970s). In what year did the Falklands War occur? (1982). Which U.S. president said "Ich bin ein Berliner" in 1963? John F. Kennedy. Which year did the euro enter circulation across 12 European countries? 2002. Which field made Erasmus a Renaissance intellectual star? Philology and theology. In 1971, Alan Shepard famously played golf on which surface? The moon. Which medieval empire rose to power in West Africa? Mali Empire. Which British architect was a leading 17th century designer? Christopher Wren. Which animal was blamed for spreading the Black Death in Europe? Rats. Which queen is often, incorrectly, linked to the quote, "Let them eat cake"? Marie Antoinette. Which country did Leon Trotsky help lead during revolution? Russia. Which literary family included Charlotte, Emily, and Anne? Bronte. Which profession did Hillary Clinton practice before entering politics? Lawyer. Which Victorian-era serial killer terrorized London? Jack the Ripper. Which country's shipyard strikes in 1980 challenged communist rule? Poland. Which ancient warrior turned rebel was originally a gladiator? Spartacus. Which religion's followers and Jews were expelled from Spain in 1492? Muslims. Which French empress was married to Napoleon Bonaparte? Josephine de Beauharnais. Which Israeli prime minister was one of the first female world leaders? Golda Meir. Which cloned sheep made headlines in 1997? Dolly. Which Renaissance writer, W. H. Auden, was known for what creative field? Poetry. Which country did Isabel Perón become president of? Argentina. Which Cold War country operated the secret police known as the Stasi? East Germany. Which island nation saw the Tamil Tigers insurgency? Sri Lanka. Which British royal princes were allegedly murdered in the Tower of London? Princes in the Tower. Which tank battle in 1943 was the largest in history? Battle of Kursk. Which Roman Empire's fall signaled the beginning of the European Dark Ages? Western Roman Empire. Which explorer led the expedition that opened the Suez Canal? Ferdinand de Lesseps. Which Scottish prince led the 1745 Jacobite uprising? Bonnie Prince Charlie. Which Southeast Asian nation elected Corazon Aquino in 1986? Philippines. Which 1991 military campaign liberated Kuwait? Desert Storm. Which German emperor ruled during the start of World War I? Kaiser Wilhelm II. Which Soviet action in 1948 attempted to cut off West Berlin? Berlin blockade. Which French revolutionary led the Reign of Terror? Maximilien Robespierre. Which former South African leader's first wife was Evelyn Mace? Nelson Mandela. Which codebreakers' work at Bletchley Park helped defeat Nazi Germany? Alan Turing. Which war included the naval battle of Midway? World War II. Which Mongol leader's invasions led to the construction of the Great Wall? Genghis Khan. Which Renaissance thinker, Erasmus, came from which country? Netherlands. Which final Stuart monarch ruled Britain until 1714? Queen Anne.